Jacques Villeneuve, during the free practice session of the Canadian Grand Prix, had publicly criticized Daniel Ricciardo for his lackluster performance and asked a question as to why he's still in Formula 1. Well, I'm glad to see Sky Sports bringing some of the racing icons of the sport to do the commentary with them, as it usually brings a more accurate insight on drivers and teams' thought process during an event that's more believable and trustworthy. And it also brings a sense of organic realism to the race, as these guys don't hold back on their opinions thinking about what could be the consequence of what they're about to say. So what they're saying is exactly what they feel, and there's literally no filter. And I really appreciate that, because it gives the fans a sense of validation and satisfaction that their opinion is mutually felt by the people even within the paddock. But it doesn't mean that you have to completely agree with everything that these drivers say. In Jacques Villeneuve's case, I partly agree and partly disagree with what he had said about Daniel Ricciardo. For better context, he said, "If you can't cut it in terms of performance, go home. There's someone else to take your place. That's how it's always been in racing. There's no reason to keep going and to keep making excuses." He also said, "We are hearing the same thing now for the past 4 to 5 years. We have to make the car better for him. Poor him. Sorry, it's been 5 years of that. No, you are in Formula 1. Maybe you make that effort for Lewis Hamilton, who has won multiple championships. You don't make that effort for a driver that can't cut it." He also said, "You all talk about the first 2 seasons that he was beating Sebastian Vettel that was burnt out, who was trying to invent things with the car to go win and just making a mess out of his weekends. Then he was beating for half a season Verstappen when Verstappen was 18 years old and just getting started. Then that was it. He stopped beating anyone after that." He ended the conversation by saying that he believes Ricciardo is being retained in the sport for his image and the commercial value he brings to the team. I mean, that's pretty brutal. He went all in without any mercy on Ricciardo. And see, this is where I have my problems. Hear me out. I think he's right that Ricciardo should not be suffering alongside a teammate like Yuki Tsunoda, who's younger and also has lesser experience compared to him in the sport. Tsunoda should be a driver that Ricciardo should be able to easily outperform with his experience that he has in the sport. So genuinely, you can't keep making excuses that the car is not good for him, because if the car was not good, then how is Tsunoda being able to score points for that car on a more consistent basis? And if the car is good, then Ricciardo should be the one to take advantage of it over his teammate, considering the kind of experience and how highly he's been rated in the sport as a driver. But I don't think Villeneuve is entirely true. Ricciardo continued to beat his teammate in Renault as well after leaving Red Bull. He comfortably beat both Hülkenberg and Ocon in 2019 and 2020. His struggling phase really started when he joined McLaren in 2021. So what Ricciardo's career would have been if he had just stayed with Renault is one of the biggest ifs in the sport's history. His performance from 2021 onwards has not been hitting the standards that he had set for himself, and that's something I feel like we all can agree upon. But devaluing his talent and achievements from the pre-McLaren era is just disrespectful, and I don't agree or accept on that. For that, I'm with all the Ricciardo's fans who are defending him, because I'm a fan of that guy as well. And it genuinely hurts me to see him struggle the way he does to pull a good result. I think his 2014 season performance was just really good. Irrespective of whether he outperformed Vettel or not, I think it's still one of the great performances from him as a season in whole. See, I think Vettel struggled in 2014 because his driving style worked perfectly well with the 2009 to 2013 generation of cars. But that driving style just did not work on the 2014 cars. So he had to work around the issues to reinvent his driving style to work with the 2014 car. And from 2015 onwards, Vettel's performance really picked up and he was back where he was before 2014. He was fighting for podiums, poles and wins against Mercedes, who were just so dominant on a Ferrari that was third or even the fourth fastest car on the grid that season. Because let's not forget, from 2014 to 2016, any car that had the Mercedes engine had the pace advantage, because those engines were just bloody quick. So both Williams and Force Indias were right up there from 2014 to 2016. So I will not accept for a second that Sebastian Vettel was burnt out in 2014. So disregarding Ricciardo's achievements in the sport, especially having been a driver himself, he shouldn't have done that. But I do agree that Ricciardo has to step up or step aside. His scenario has a lot of similarities to Checo's, where his commercial value plays a role in him being retained with the team. but I still think Checo still has the pace to deliver results that the team expects from him. Ricciardo's biggest problem now is that his results has now made him look more like a liability than Checo if Red Bull had promoted him to Checo's seat for 2025. Ricciardo's performance has declined over the past 3 seasons, leading to questions about whether he deserves to remain in the sport. However, whenever these discussions become more intense, he delivers a spectacular performance, providing a glimmer of hope that the Ricciardo from the pre-McLaren era is still present, like his performance at the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying today. Unfortunately, these standout performances from Ricciardo are not consistent, and I really hope that he can take motivation and build on his performance from today for the rest of the season. With a driver like Liam Lawson waiting in the wings, I think Ricciardo's lackluster performances can't be discounted, as there's a younger talent waiting in the background for his opportunity to be unleashed, and we can't afford to let that go to waste. So yes guys, these are my thoughts and opinion on Jacques Villeneuve's statement on Daniel Ricciardo. Honestly, I was all set to make a video on Daniel Ricciardo some point during the mid-season break to talk about his performance this season, but I prefer to wait it out till the mid-season break so that we can give him some time to show what he's really got. But when I saw this interview, I felt like there's no better time to make this video than now. So I just combined both my thoughts on Jacques Villeneuve's statement and my thoughts on Daniel Ricciardo's performance into one video. And I really hope you all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and let me know down in the comments on what are your thoughts on Jacques Villeneuve's statement and on Daniel Ricciardo's performance this season. Do you think he'll be able to keep up this performance from the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying for the rest of the season? Leave it down in the comments. With that being said, subscribe to the Renmaster channel if you haven't already, and also hit that bell icon while you're at it so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And until next time, it's me Vinesh from Renmeister, and I'm out. Love you guys, stay safe, peace.